Hey guys, I want to do a real quick video about this BS in the Harris County Family Courts. Okay, so this obviously is a notice of partial non-suit. And if you see it says my ex's name, motion for enforcement of child support filed on or about August 18th, 2023. When they filed this enforcement of child support, I was given an attorney, and that attorney represents me through that whole proceeding, through thick and thin. And that attorney is named in this notice of partial non-suit. Now, the first thing I want you to look at is it was filed 12/21/2023. That's when the district clerk brought it in, stamped it, and it's on the official record. Now, if you go and you read this non-suit, partial non-suit, and we have to listen to the word partial because this is where the big mix-up is. The notice of partial non-suit is brought by Carolyn Pena. In support, Carolyn Pena shows that Carolyn Pena no longer desires to prosecute her motion for enforcement of child support, which was filed on or about August 18, 2023, against the respondent, and the respondent has no pleadings on file seeking affirmative relief from Carolyn Pena in this matter. Said notice of non-suit was effective when announced on the record, open court, September 13, 2023. September 13, 2023. Again, I'm pro se. I remember what's being said. I remember what's being recorded. And this is why you should record. It's because there's certain times that you have unethical attorneys that do stuff and try to pull the wool over your eyes. Carolyn Robertson told told the judge September 13th on the record that she may non-suit the case. My attorney was not there on the record. My attorney was not there at the judicial proceeding we had on the 13th. So but that was between her and the court appointed attorney that was given to me for this child support enforcement action. So let's move on to trial. Trial was November 15th, 16th, 17th, and December 12th. Obviously, if you look at the filing date, this partial non-suit was filed on the 21st, right after the trial date. So she said it went into effect September 13th, 2023. The next thing I want to look at is Rule 21 that we all have to abide by civil rules of procedure. This April 2nd, 2023. So obviously Carolyn Robertson didn't even do her homework or even look at these pleadings as she's just pumping them out. But I understand why. And let me tell you why she did it. So as y'all know, I was served with a motion for enforcement on child support. I was given an attorney. The attorney represented me. Again, my attorney wasn't there September 13th, 2023. And we went to trial November 15th, 16th, and 17th. Again, she said she may non-suit. She didn't mention the word partial at all. Partial didn't come up until 12/21/2023 when this was e-filed into the court. So in trial, I was on the witness stand, and some of the ailments that I deal with due to a motorcycle accident is my affirmative defense for the child support enforcement. So when I was on the stand, again, my attorney wasn't there. She wasn't at trial. She wasn't supposed to be at trial because this was a final trial. It was not an enforcement action for child support. While I was on the stand, y'all remember, I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. I was in an orange jumpsuit. I was in handcuffs. And basically, opposing counsel said, "Hey, Mr. Saldana, we want you to talk about your medical history." She started asking all these questions. And I said, "I plead the fifth." I said it 3 or 4 times. I plead the fifth. I objected, plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth. And then I was overruled. And I was made to testify against myself about my physical ailments and my medical issues, right? And I told them, look, if you want to talk about child support, we have an open enforcement action, and this open enforcement action needs to go before my attorney, and I have the right to plead the fifth. Long story short, they made me talk about my physical issues. There was no motion to compel. I didn't turn it over in discovery because there was this open child support enforcement action. And Carolyn Robertson told the judge, "Judge, I non-suited it September 13th on the record." I said, "Judge, I have not seen a non-suit." She did not non-suit it on the 13th. She basically stated that she might non-suit it. And even then, my attorney for the child support enforcement action was not there. So she needs to bring that up with her. They need to have that conversation, and those documents need to be filed into the e-file system for the record. So I testify against myself in trial again, November 15th, 16th, 17th, and December 12th. And since I brought this issue that there was no notice on file, guess what appears days after trial? Remember, my last day of trial was 12/12/2023. So 12/21 is when this was filed. And then when it's filed, it says partial non-suit, partial non-suit, partial non-suit. Well, what part of the child support enforcement action did you partially non-suit? There's nothing on the record. So again, she's telling the judge that she non-suited it in court, and then she files this days after court, after I made my objection and I said nothing was filed on the record. She goes on later to file this, and at the end of the day, you go to the certificate of service, it's April 2nd, 2023. So in court this last week, she started to tell the judge, hey, judge, Mr. Saldana is making a big deal about it, saying April 2nd, 2023, which is a typo. No, Carolyn Robertson, you got the whole month, the whole day, and the whole year wrong, girlfriend. Like, I mean, what is Rule 21 for? Right. And not only that, but then she tried to get out of it by saying, oh, well, there is notice on the record. It was filed on 12/21. When during trial, I have affirmative defense. I have the right to plead the fifth. She bullied me into testifying when I'm in orange and handcuffs and my liberty is being restrained for a crime I didn't commit. So this is a very, very horrible, unethical, unlawful trick. She should be sanctioned for bringing this shit to me and lying to the judge about it. So right now there's a notice of partial non-suit, and I have a child support action that's partially non-suited, but I don't know what portions were partially non-suited. Catch me again for more Carolyn Robertson's fuck ups.